Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Bites. That's Bites with a Y, as we look for sound bites with an I. I'm Jimmy Young of the Proactive Business Network, and I'm proud to be joined in studio today on this Wednesday by Dr. Bridget Cooper. And she is an executive coach and a leadership consultant. Thank you so much for coming up all the way from Connecticut to join us. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about what executive coaching is and what you consider to be leadership consulting, and can you do that in a short soundbite?
So what I do with companies and executives is help them understand what it is their goals are, help them find plans for reaching them, and help them work through any interpersonal struggles that may be holding them back from their business objectives.
That seems to be your happy space,
Yes.
Interpersonal struggles.
Yes.
Is this what differentiates you from others?
I would say so. My background is in human resources management, and then it was followed by an education in marriage and family therapy, of all things, which is really systems theory, understanding how groups and individuals come to understand one another, come to work together. And then I take that and brought it into my leadership, educational leadership doctorate. And when I put all those three things together, I find that that's a really helpful combination, understanding the interpersonal struggles that are really at the core of most problems.
How many people really are comfortable with who they are?
Not many.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Even the most confident, and I joke with people, I've met heads of state, I've met, world leaders, and I find that they are just like all of us, worried about how they're perceived, worried about whatever crazy they've got going on in their heads. And for me, trying to help people work through those challenges and come to understand who they are, how they can best contribute to the world. I call it pipeline of awesome, how they can open up their pipeline of awesome using their divine gifts to be able to bring more happiness, success, and opportunity into the world.
I love that.
Yeah.
Pipeline in awesome.
Pipeline of awesome. So I actually
Pipeline
opened
awesome.
Yeah, so
okay.
I actually opened up a website called pipelineofawesome.com where I'm encouraging people to submit stories about how they found their true calling, how they're living through their authentic voice, how they're overcoming some of the obstacles that have been holding them back from their.
And this is on the internet, so it's unlimited. So if I actually do go on there and I
Yes.
start writing, it'll just keep going and going and going.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
you can write and you can send it to me. I do edit that, make sure that they're edited properly so we're not putting, profane or, inappropriate things on the internet because I don't want to add to
My
that.
life is not inappropriate or profane. It's
Well,
fascinating.
now I'm disappointed.
All
but
right,
yeah,
fair enough.
There you go.
Can you give me an idea of a lot of the things you do specialize in teenagers and female issues?
Yeah.
Females, as I'm somewhat been told many times, have some issues with how they look, how they feel, and how do you overcome that? Because I'm going to take notes on this answer. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I think part of it, I wrote a book called Feed the Need, and I did a lot of women's workshops with that because I find that women and men, and because I work with a lot of men, I'd say more of my clients than not, individual clients and corporate clients are men, and they struggle with a lot of the same things, but women do struggle with trying to please others through their behavior and through their image and all of that, and I find that they have a harder time finding their authentic voice, leading with confidence in a way that it does not break down into emotional issues. I find that when a lot of women are working together in one department, usually people come to me and say, oh, I've got an all-female department, and they think I understand what that means, and I usually do, which means that there's a lot of infighting, a lot of stepping on one another. And what I try to bring women to understand is that when they are feeling strong and confident in their own voice, they then can lift others up, because strong people lift others up and weak people push others down to try to step above. And what I find with women most often is when they're feeling weak within themselves, that's when they're hurting other people, oftentimes women, to try to elevate themselves. So when I can bring more confidence and self-assuredness to women to understand, to accept themselves, and I go through the 5-step model of change in Stuck You, my latest book, the second step is the one most often forgotten, which is acceptance. And it's not just acceptance that a change is going to occur, it's acceptance of yourself exactly where you are. And I find that women especially have the most problems with that because they've been taught not to accept themselves in order to change.
So funny you're saying that, because last night in class I have two college girls, and they're petrified of being on camera.
Sure.
And I said to them, let me ask you a question. Before you went out today, at some point, right before you went outside, did you look in the mirror? And of course they all say, yeah. And you said, that's good enough, right? So if it was good enough when you looked in that mirror, you should be confident now that of who you are, what you're about, and you're ready to attack the world. I mean, and by the way, sounds simple, doesn't it?
Not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
You've written a number of books.
Yeah, I have 3.
And is there another one coming out? Did I read that?
There will be a 4th one coming out, and it's actually going to be based on pipelineofawesome.com. So I'm taking stories from there, kind of in a chicken soup for the soul, thread, and putting them all together, giving some perspectives on the backgrounds of the people who contributed to be able to inspire others to, 1, open up their pipeline of awesome, and 2, share their stories with others to inspire them.
Well, I just met you, and I feel like I've known you a long time already. Thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Bridget Cooper.
Thank you.
Piecesinplace.com is her website. This is Wednesday Bites for Dr. Bridget Cooper. I'm Jimmy Young. We'll see you next time.